welcome to my studio and welcome to day 7 of NaNoJouMo 2021. This is actually, I don't even know what day this is. This is Monday for me, November 1st, and I have been doing these videos a little bit ahead of time just since there's going to be so many of them, but also because I did have my knee surgery on Tuesday, so this past Tuesday, and today is the first day that I've finally felt like getting back in my studio and starting to work on pages again. And so I'm really excited about that. It feels good. It feels really good to be standing here, even though it's a little uncomfortable. I just had the cartilage repaired in my knee. I had torn the cartilage, so I didn't have anything super crazy to do. But I have been having a lot of problems with just basically adjusting to being not being able to move around a lot. My job, I probably do 20 to 30,000 steps a day by the end of the day, and going from that to a handful has been really difficult, and I ended up pinching a nerve in my back, and so I've been struggling more with that than I have with my actual knee part, so which has been extremely frustrating. But I'm finally, I think, kind of on the upswing and ready to get rolling with all this again. So I've actually had everything set out for this page since before my surgery, so I'm really excited that I'm finally feeling like I'm ready to start working on this, because I can see this clearly in my head how I'm hoping that it's going to turn out. So that being said, this is day 7, and the prompt for today is present. And this is a perfect example of how I tried to do the prompts for NaNoJouMo, was words that could be interpreted in many different ways, and present is just another one that I thought could be taken in a lot of different ways. So I am going to do it as far as being present, present in my life and how I am living and with what I am experiencing and seeing around me. So you could also, do it as a present, giving someone a present or anything like that. So I'm really excited to see how you all interpretate? I'm not sure. How you interpret that word. I am still kind of all over the place with everything. So, and you guys, I'm like, actually this is the first, well, I'm missing talking to people, so I'm being out, so I'm kind of quiet all during the day and all night long, so I'm working on speaking again, if that makes any sense whatsoever. So, the prompt is present, and I went through some of my magazines, and I found this image, which I really liked, and as I looked at it, I just kind of felt, with her being stretched back and her arms open, just kind of like, okay, here I am, I'm present, I'm going to take in what I see, what I feel, and give all of that back out also. And so in that giving out part, in my head, as I was looking at this, I just envisioned light or something coming from her. And like always, my fallback and the things I use and have always used a lot are roses and butterflies in my collage. And so I went through a couple of my books. I've got this butterfly book, which is wonderful, and I get butterflies from it a lot, and so I got a bunch of butterflies from it. And I had picked this up from Half Price Books. This has a lot of really beautiful rose images in it. And then in my other rose book, which I don't have over here, the one that I use all the time, I found just some smaller roses to tuck in and around on that. So the tricky part that's going to be with this image is that there are words written on here. I don't know if you can see them in white. There's some words. And the butterflies and the roses that I'm going to adhere down are not going to cover those words completely. And so I am going to take just some basic craft paints. I pulled out a couple, oh, I dropped it and I can't pick it up just right now. I got a couple grays and some white craft paint, and I'm just going to kind of blend them together here on my work area and just use a dry brush and just kind of tap it around to cover up those words. It will be pretty easy since the background of this is clouds, and so it doesn't need to be perfect whatsoever. So if anything, just my adding the paint on there might make it look just more like clouds in the picture than me trying to cover something up. And I'm usually able to cover these words up like this enough with paint so that a lot of people can't even tell that I did it, and usually I'm the only person who knows that it's there because I know where to look. But it's just a great way to kind of play around, play with your paints, and to be able to use an image that you might not think that you would be able to use in your collage. There are ways to cover up words. In other images that I've used, if it was something where I could use a big rose or a big butterfly or something like that, I would use that to cover up the words. There are also times whenever I've used cutout text, especially if it's bigger text. Kind of like, let's see, I know I've got something here that might work that I can show you in my little, like something like this. That cutout could cover over the words. So there are ways to cover over parts of an image that you might not like, or text like this that you just don't want there. So that's what I'm going to do, is just kind of mess around with some paint to cover over that and let it dry. And then I will start putting down the butterflies and the flowers. And actually, while talking to you about this, I had not thought of this until I started talking about it, but just in describing kind of how I saw this, I almost kind of maybe wonder if I might color this in a little bit, the background, maybe add some color of a light area emitting from her, and then put those things on top. I'm not sure. At first I thought that I might color in her, since all of this is black and white. I thought it might be neat just to take some watercolor. I have watercolor markers, Neocolor 2s, things like that. Just color in her so that she stood out, and then she had the images coming out. But now I kind of wonder if maybe I'll color the background, make that a little bit of yellow or something, so there's a bright light with those things coming from her. So I might do that. I might do that instead. I also was looking through this is an old Breathe magazine. I was looking for a sentence or something to use to put along here. And I couldn't really find, I was having a hard time finding what I really wanted to say, and wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to say as far as being present. But I did here at the end of this, it says, be ready to say yes. And I thought that and my camera just got full. The memory on my camera got full. What I was saying is that be ready to say yes. I just thought that is a great part, something to think of as far as being present, is when you're present, you're just you're ready to say yes to what comes towards you and what you're being given. So I'm going to use that. And just real quick on touching again on coloring in this image, if I use a watercolor marker, it will be fine as far as then adhering these little parts on top of that image. Neocolor 2s do work great for coloring in an image, but they are waxy. And so if I used Neocolor 2 on this part up here, the images that I would be trying to stick down, the butterflies and the roses, they would have a hard time staying stuck on top of the Neocolor, probably just because they are waxy. So if I color in the top part of this, I will be using some watercolor markers. I have some watercolor markers that I've had forever. You could use watercolor paint, just things like that. You just need to be really, really careful and not get the image too wet because it will buckle on you. That's why the NeoColors are fun for that if you're not going to add anything on top. I have colored in areas of a magazine with the NeoColor 2s and then used a baby wipe and just kind of dabbed it on there to blend color around and smooth it out a bit. That works really well since the baby wipe is not really, really wet, super wet. If I was going to be doing just her dress and not putting any, adhering anything on there at all, the NeoColors would work great for that, the NeoColor 2s. So I'm still kind of undecided on what I'm going to do if I want to put anything on the background. But if I do, chances are I will be using just watercolor markers. Watercolor paints would work. So I'm just still kind of trying to envision how I want to see it. If I want her colored in, or if I want the sky colored in, or just how that's going to go. So yeah, that is how we're going to go for today, and I really hope you're enjoying this. This is the end of week one of NaNoJouMo, and I hope you're enjoying this. I hope that this is helping you get creative each day, that you're enjoying the prompts and the videos, and if you have any questions, please be sure to ask, and let's get started with today's prompt.